Hi, my name is John Paulraj, and I'm on a mission to make the learning of math fun. On this video, we're talking about the algebra of inverse functions. I've divided this topic into 5 different parts, and on this part, we're discussing the inverses of linear functions. So let's get started. The technique that we're going to use is a basic two-step procedure to find the inverse of any function. The first step is to just interchange x and y. If you haven't seen my video on the basics of inverse functions, the link to that video will be somewhere up there. I will mention that in the description below. So the first step is to interchange x and y. And the reason we do that is because the domain and the range for the function and its inverse basically gets interchanged. And the second step is to just make this new y after you've interchanged, to make the new y the subject of the formula. Okay, so let's take one example. F of x is 3x plus 8. The first thing you do is that write y as f of x. So y is equal to 3x plus 8. And the first step is to interchange. So I will indicate that interchange this way. X becomes y and y becomes x. So the equation now becomes x is equal to 3y plus 8. And now when we write y in terms of x, we will write it as x minus 8 is equal to 3y. Or x minus 8 over 3 equals y. And this new y that we found is f inverse of x. All right, so we can write that f inverse x is equal to x minus 8 over 3. All right, let's go over the steps again. What did we do first? We had f of x. So the first thing we did was we identified f of x as y. Remember, y is equal to f of x. So y is equal to 3x plus 8. Then we interchanged x and y. Wherever there was y, we wrote x, and wherever there was x, we wrote y. And then we simply had to rewrite that equation in terms of y, making y the subject of the formula. And the new y will give us the inverse of the function. Let's take one more example. Here, f of x is equal to negative 5 over 4x minus 2. Let's do the same thing. We start first by making this y. Okay, y is equal to f of x is negative 5 over 4x minus 2. Now we write this notation basically means you're interchanging x and y so that the equation becomes x is equal to negative 5 over 4y minus 2. Now we have to make this new y the subject of the equation. Let's do that. So we have x plus 2 equals a negative 5 over 4y, or 4x plus 8 equals a negative 5y. And then 4x plus 8 over negative 5 should be your y. In other words, you can write this y as negative 4x minus 8 over 5. And this new y that we have found out is the inverse. Okay, so f inverse is negative 4x minus 8 over 5. All right, so that is how we find the inverse of a linear function using the two-step procedure. First, you interchange x and y. And second, you make the new y the subject of the formula. But in the case of linear functions, the domain and the range are all real numbers. So what's going to happen when the domain or the range or both are not all real numbers? We'll see that in part 2.